Hey, I'm Barbara Beery. Welcome to our In a Flash cooking class. This month I'm going to show you how to make some healthy, fun, and of course very delicious wraps for your kids to take to school or have for an afternoon snack. Let's get started. First of all, I've got this fabulous whole grain tortilla. Now the really cool thing, we can have any kind of tortilla that you can think of. I think there's spinach tortillas, there's red pepper tortillas, whatever your kids and family like most, that's what you should be using. I have one tortilla. I took it out of the fridge because honestly it's a little hard to wrap when the tortillas are cold. So take it out and let it just warm up to room temperature, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Now here's where the trick begins and also where the fun part begins. I have 3 kids and believe me, I packed 3 lunches every day for I don't even want to tell you how many years. And the last thing I wanted to do was to worry about that in the morning when we were all rushing to get out of the house. The beauty of these wraps is that you can make them the night before, but here's the trick. Never do you want anything, whether it's the bread or the tortilla, to have an absorption of the moisture. So you got to put a little barrier on it. And what I'm going to use today, and I happen to think it's just about the best thing going, is some of this whipped cream cheese. Now you can put as little or as much as your kids like or as much as you feel is appropriate to use. But again, it forms this barrier of moisture so that you can put all the other ingredients on top. And guess what? You can make this up the night before and the flavors are even better the next day. So the whipped cream cheese I think is like the best thing going. If you have regular cream cheese, just let it get a little bit soft so it's easy to spread. So cream cheese going. Then I happen to also love hummus. And hummus, goodness knows, comes in a variety of flavors. This is the classic hummus, but you can get a red pepper hummus. I think they've got tahini. They've got artichoke. I can't tell you all the hummuses they have, but whatever you think is the most delicious is what you should be using. Now, if you happen to have somebody in your house that doesn't like hummus, you can certainly use one of those prepared vegetable dips that have a delicious flavor, and you can use that instead. So, I've got the hummus going, and now the fun part starts. Of course, I love everything, so I've got some of these gorgeous kind of golden bell peppers and the red bell peppers, which I think are about the sweetest of all. I got some freshly grated carrots for some good crunch. How about some tomatoes? We are so lucky now. We get to have all these little cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes, the heirlooms. They're all so sweet and delicious, and you can just about get them all year long. So I've got some tomatoes going on there. Cucumbers. It's the end of the harvest for the cucumbers, so they are very readily available at stores and at the farmers markets, and they're a great price right now too. So I'm going to put some cookies on there. I love feta cheese, so I'm going to put the feta cheese with the hummus. But you can use any kind of grated cheese that your kids like, mozzarella, cheddar cheese, any kind of cheese. And then the sprouts. I got to put a few little sprouts on there because I think they're sweet and crunchy and are just a delicious addition to any little roll-up. So now I've piled that so high, I hope I can get it rolled up. What I did, and I think what you should do, or if your kids make them, immediately start constructing this on a little piece of either wax paper or saran, and then just starting at one edge, very slowly kind of tuck and roll all these delicious ingredients in that wrap. And as soon as you begin to turn the corner on the last little bit, make sure that the seam side is down, and then what you can do is roll it up nicely inside this little saran or your wax paper. Make sure that the ends are secure and pop it in the fridge the night before you want to make it for the lunch the next day. So I'm going to just set that here, and I want to show you one that I did last night. Now take a look at this. Here is a wrap that's cut in 3 pieces, and guess what? I had to show you something different on this too. This just happens to be a dessert wrap. And so I still started with the base of cream cheese. I had some plum jam that I made, and then I put some sliced bananas on top, popped it in the fridge last night, and this morning took it out and cut it in 3 pieces. Hey, I call that dessert. So you've got wraps that are savory and wraps that are sweet, and both ways I think your kids will have great healthy lunches and delicious after-school snacks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Don't go away.